Welcome into the Sharp Sports YouTube podcast. My name is Andrew Sharp. We'll be talking everything Denver sports and beyond. Please like and subscribe if you are a sports fan like me. Let's do this. Welcome into the Sharp Sports YouTube podcast. My name is Andrew Sharp. Well, the Denver Broncos go into MetLife Stadium in New York in a driving rainstorm, horrible conditions, come out with the victory 10-9 over the New York Jets. The broadcast at first, when it first came on, was talking about how poor the rain field conditions were, and that did not really stop for most of the game. Got a little better at one point, and I believe that's when the Broncos managed their only touchdown drive, but they defeat the New York Jets 10-9 in a sloppy game. But it kind of leaned towards the favor of the Broncos, believe it or not, because the Broncos defense, frankly, is better than the Jets defense right now. It just is. And the Broncos ran the ball, something I have begged, implored them to do. They weren't amazing on the ground, but they were good enough. And that's all that really matters. Broncos have also managed to win back-to-back road games for the first time since the 2021 season. And I went back and looked because even I wasn't quite sure what they did with that. That's the season where they beat the New York Giants in New York, season opener. Giants went on to finish with a 4-13 record and picked 5th in the subsequent NFL draft for the 2021 season. The Broncos then went on to defeat the Urban Meyer-led Jacksonville Jaguars, who ended up with the worst record in the entire league and the number one pick that particular season. That was the Urban Meyer disaster, where he literally only coached, I believe it was 9 games before he was fired in the middle of the season. So, first time the Broncos have beat 2 road opponents back-to-back. And these differences, A, how they're doing it, and B, the Jets and Tampa Bay are legitimate playoff contenders. Tampa Bay came right back this week, crushed the Eagles 33-16 in a game in which they played much better. So the Broncos have beaten 2 quality opponents. The Jets, I don't believe in the Jets in terms of their actual AFC contender viability, but they needed this game bad. This is not a game that any Jets prognosticator or me had the Jets losing. I certainly did not think the Broncos were capable at this point of doing back-to-back road wins. So very happy with that. Definitely not, kind of basically makes up for the Pittsburgh loss because now the Broncos have an AFC road victory. So all in all, a sloppy game, but you'll take a win at this point any way you can get it because the Broncos would have lost this game the last couple years 9 out of 10 times. There's no way they would have won this game. So an ugly win, but we'll take it. Especially with Alex Singleton, unfortunately, being ruled out for the season. Broncos' leading tackler the last few years. Very good player, very good linebacker. I barely noticed he was gone. Other guys have been stepping up big time, which is what we're going to talk about right now because the Broncos' no-name defense is suddenly making plays. A year ago, this Bronco team gave up 70 points to the Miami Dolphins. Let me say that again. A year ago, this Broncos defense gave up 70 to the Miami Dolphins. A lot can change in a year. So we're going to talk today about 3 players that have really changed things for the Denver Broncos. Justin Sternad. I really didn't know who he was, honestly, and I follow the Broncos. Well, it turns out I didn't know who he was because he was mostly on the practice squad, lower end of the roster guy. 5th round pick from 2020. And sometimes guys take a little longer to develop. He's been off and off the practice squad, but he really was kind of no name. He almost signed this offseason with the Carolina Panthers, decided to come back last minute to the Denver Broncos on a 1-year deal. Very happy that he did. Just making plays. Had a half sack. And that's the kind of guy you need to step up. A guy who's kind of been in development, but has been slow to get there and is finally really starting to make plays. Another guy, Jonah Ellis, 3rd round pick from Utah. for the Broncos this year. Looks like he knows what he's doing. That's all I can ask for from a rookie linebacker. Do you know where you're going? Are you lost? Do you know what your assignment is? Do you know who you're supposed to cover? Are you supposed to sack somebody? You're supposed to tackle this guy, cover that guy? He has a good feel for the game. He was not on this team that gave up 70 to Miami. So, welcome addition, good young player, and very happy to have him. Speaking of the Jets defense and the Jets, John Franklin Myers came over from said New York Jets, traded for a 6th-round pick. Basically got him because the Jets couldn't figure out how to use him. And he's playing great. He also got a nice little revenge game against his former team in this game. So happy to see it. Veteran presence. Can defend the run a lot better than anyone the Broncos had at this time last year. So 3 players, Jonah Ellis, John Franklin Myers, and Justin Sternad, all making contributions to a Denver Broncos team that has been defense, specifically, that is way better. Way better. I was not a huge fan of bringing back Vance Joseph to the Denver Broncos, but Vance has proven me and a lot of other people who follow the Broncos wrong. He may not be a head coach, but he is a solid defensive coordinator. He had good defenses in Miami. Couldn't really figure out why last year was so bad. But I would also say that he needed better players. And these 3 players, they make a difference. Now, I'm not saying I don't know what would have happened differently in Miami if those 3 players were on that team. But they're on this team, and we're moving forward, and they're getting better. And it's a welcome sight to see, because one of the other things that can really help a young rookie quarterback out is a very strong defense. And the Broncos' sort of no-name defense is proving to be a top 5 unit in the NFL this 2024 season. Given the playing conditions for this game, it was imperative to try to take some of the pressure off of Bo Nix, who was struggling with grip and accuracy throughout the game. Look, he's a rookie. I had one person who happened to be seeing the game with me. Well, why can't he figure out how to throw the ball in the ring? He hasn't figured it out yet. I get that. Yeah, he's got to figure out a glove situation or whatnot to figure out how to throw better in the ring. He's a rookie. I don't care how many plays or games he played at Oregon. He'll figure it out. They'll figure out a glove. But for this game, get through the game. Don't worry about it. The other thing you can do to help a rookie quarterback out is to run the ball, which the Broncos were not amazing at, but at least they gave it a shot because they actually ran the ball finally more than they threw it. They had 31 rush attempts versus Bo Nix, 25 passing attempts. So given the conditions, they should be running the ball more. Regardless of conditions, they should be running the ball more. And they did. As a team, ended up with 31 rushes, 126 yards, averaged 4.1 yards a carry. And that's with Tyler Bidet, unfortunately, looking like he is out for an extended period of time. But Javonte Williams, not amazing, but much better. And Braylon Allen for the Jets, every time he touched the ball, I was kind of scared because he ran, I thought, pretty hard and pretty effectively. He ended up only with 8 carries for 34 yards. Breece Hall had 10 carries for 4 yards. Breece Hall was terrible in this game, which is really surprising because I would have thought they would have used him more too. And the Broncos outran the Jets on the ground, and they didn't ask their quarterback to win the game. And by the way, for all that Bo Nix did not throw very well, he had 60 yards passing. I know, it's terrible. He's a rookie. We're just going to move on. We're going to get wins. We're going to move on. Aaron Rodgers, going straight to the Hall of Fame, unbelievable career. He had to throw the ball 42 times. He only had 24 completions. By the way, he took 5 sacks for 41 yards. So if you take that off of its yards, he threw for about 180. And so it wasn't that type of game. You weren't going to win chucking the ball all around. The final score was 10-9. So run the ball, play good defense, and good things will happen, which is exactly what happened for the Broncos against the New York Jets. So very happy with this result. Did not see this coming. Really didn't think even without the conditions that the Broncos could go to New York in back-to-back road games and win. Very happy with the result. Now, in saying all that, it appears we're going to have very nice weather on Sunday as the Broncos host the Las Vegas Raiders, who are kind of in shambles because their top two players, one wants to quit the team in Devontae Adams, and Max Crosby appears to be hurt. I don't know if he'll play Sunday, has yet to be determined. So Broncos, this is, again, divisional game at home. Let's get a win because right now you're in the driver's seat. This is a team that is showing that if it does the formula that I have discussed over and over, they can win 9 or 10 games this year and hopefully break the playoff drought that has plagued the Denver Broncos since Super Bowl 50. So, encouraged by this win, yes, it's ugly. No one cares. No one's going to care at the end of the day. Did you win or did you lose? It's a win or loss league in the NFL. So, very happy about that. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, feel free to comment in the comment below. Like and subscribe. Once again, my name is Andrew Sharp, Sharp Sports 82 Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back to discuss the Denver Broncos and the Las Vegas Raiders. Thanks a lot.